I learned that I was literally one tire away. Way that I started to think about this was if I blew a tire right now, would I be able to pay for it? And when I was younger, that changed my whole perspective. Hey, y'all, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Dr. Nina, and if you're new around here, welcome. Over here, we talk about everything from hygiene, self-esteem, living a good life, and everything in between. And today, we're talking about the 8 bad money habits that I had that kept your girl broke. Now, I'm older now, but I had to learn some hard lessons in my youth, okay? So sit back and relax, kick your feet up, get you some coffee or something, because we talking about it today, and we talking about that real stuff. Right now, the world is crazy. Hey, if you try to buy a car, housing, food to eat, there's inflation. You got people talking about soft luxury. You got people talking about overconsumption and underconsumption core. Sometimes we tend to think that the more money you make, the easier it is for you. But no matter how much money you make, if you're not a good steward of it and you're not taking care of business the way that you should, it can definitely make it hard for you to take care of yourself, let alone anyone else. So we're going to talk about all of it today, boo-boo. And I want y'all to ask your questions down below. Also, give me some input on some videos you would like to see for the future. And I also want to hear from y'all on some of the money moves you're making and some of the things that have helped you curb back your spending, change the way you look at money, and the way that you've gotten better with it. Let's get right into it. Impulse purchases and not spending wisely get us all, from the beginner to the advanced person trying to work on their money habits. I know y'all and me have all been there in the middle of the night when you're supposed to be asleep, scrolling on Instagram, TikTok, and other places, and then some wonderful ad comes on for something that you ain't never wanted, but somehow it looks amazing. Okay, you just gotta have it. Some kind of weird pair of shoes, some makeup item. The way that I've instantly worked on this so that my bank account ain't screaming the next day is I give it 24 hours. If I can't even remember the web URL or the person who was talking about it or the channel or the space where I saw the item, it is not worth my purchase. I start to think, do I need this or do I just want it? How is it going to help to enrich my life? What am I going to have to let go of or switch out in order to have this item? And while it's nice to want nice things for yourself, sometimes those things are unnecessary and you don't even end up using them anyway. And even on this channel, you see me talking about a lot of the same items because I use a lot of the same stuff. And the other thing I used to fall victim to was sales. So I resist sales a lot now. While savings are super tempting, buying something just because it's on sale does not help you at all. So I try to stick to purchasing items that I will actually use or that I truly need. And this has also led to me avoiding shopping with credit cards. Did you know that shoppers usually tend to spend less money when they're carrying a debit card or cash? Because it creates a sense of losing real money. A lot of times when we can't think of where the money is coming from, it's okay to spend it. That's why it's easier to spend other people's money. But maybe make it easier for yourself by carrying cash and a debit card as opposed to a credit card, or even hooking credit cards up to websites where you make frequent purchases. And if you can't withstand the devil, go ahead and unsubscribe from channels that promote a whole lot of frivolous spending. And that might include unsubscribing from email lists and retail marketing lists and text messages. You might also look through your bank statements and slash extra costs. Look to reduce that nonsensical spending like door dashing or Uber Eats, and swap out restaurant deliveries or visits for home cooked meals. Even though food prices are going up, you can still find some reasonably priced items. And do like me and look through your phone and look at the subscriptions you have for apps. I had to erase a lot of apps from my phone because they were charging me yearly and I wasn't even using the apps attached. It can save you some cash. All of us have fallen victim to this one, but ignoring the budget or failing to create one to begin with. Where your budget at? You. I'm talking to you. Yeah, I know starting a budget sounds just as fun as kicking a bunch of bricks, but I had to think of my budget as my GPS system to my financial goals. Without it, you just driving blindfolded. Start tracking your income and expenses for the month. You are going to be shocked at where your money actually goes. So I started off by finding my favorite budgeting plan. I've placed some links down below for you in a free budget as well. It can be basic or more complex. In an app, spreadsheet, piece of paper, you can use cards, or you can just do cash stuffing. If it's not working, don't give up on it just yet. Just try a different plan until you find something that fits. And you have to seek accountability. Like if you have a significant other and y'all budget together, y'all can celebrate wins together. But I know for me, I like to do budgeting solo so I can keep myself in check. One thing that I try to do is to make sure that my bank accounts are set up to take things out immediately. I do not count money that I do not have. So what I mean is I have an account that I keep for myself that I share with my husband, also also a business account, and another account, which is just for emergencies. Instantly, money comes out. Things like my retirement plan and a life insurance and other things come out immediately. So the only thing I see is what's left. So I don't make up the time to ball out without a budget. Just figure out the things that you can let go of and get crafty with the way that you save your cash. Maxing out those credit cards, carrying huge balances, and refusing to check them or your money. That while you can spend as much as you want to on your credit card, ball out if you want to, boo. But if you get too close to the limits, you will suffer. That's because your credit score factors into your credit utilization rate, or how much of your credit that you're using at a given time. Using too much of this makes you look risky and overextended, and it drags down your credit score. And the way to owe credit companies forever is just paying the minimum. Baby, you're not even paying anything for real off the principal. You're just paying interest fees that add onto your balance and prolong your debt. So when I was in undergrad, I went ahead and bought all my books on a credit card that I got because back then they used to really scam us into getting credit cards, even on college campuses. I put all these books on a credit card. My mother was at home, so she got the bill and she was like, girl, you like maxed this credit card out. Yes, my mother taught me excellent money values, but I didn't know that much about credit. So my mother taught me about it through that credit mistake. You want to be careful about having all these credit cards and paying a minimum because, baby, you're not doing nothing. So the way I worked on this was by knowing the rate. Credit utilization under 30% is ideal, and you should keep it lower if you can. So ideally, if you have a bunch of cards that sum up to $10,000, you should keep your debt under $3,000 on those cards. I try not to put purchases on a credit card that I know I cannot pay off fairly quickly. One thing that I try to do, especially when we're going to have like family travels or things like that, is we make sure we have the cash, we charge it to a card to get all the points and all the rewards, and then we pay it off with the cash that we know we've saved. That way you're not paying off the trip for a very long extended period of time and you're not getting pimped for interest. If you can't pay it all, pay more than the minimum. Something that my aunt that's in business and financing taught me is to make sure that you choose to swipe the card with the lowest APR on it. And something that I learned too is that if you can get a card where when you sign up and you make a purchase, you can get a 0% APR for like 12 months, that's awesome because you have like 12 months to pay it off without any interest. Not looking into my spending and further my bank account allow people to get into my account and steal money from me. And to take it a step further, I recently Googled myself and found a bunch of old stuff about places that I've lived, information about me that I didn't know was out there. It made me feel so nervous and helpless to know that people could use this information for sinister reasons, like unwanted phone calls, forwarded mail, and solicitation. Can y'all believe that in the past I've even had my bank accounts hit where people stole my debit card information and made large purchases? If that hadn't have been flagged, I wouldn't have had any idea until it was too late. And just recently, my Facebook page was hacked. Yes, I'm still dealing with this. And in this time, I've realized just how vulnerable I am to things like this happening. All of these things have added up to show me that we all need a better way to protect our more sensitive information online. And that's why I've started to use Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura alerts me when my personal information is being sold on the dark web or by data brokers. It automatically removes my information from the data broker websites. It helps me to take action if it's exposed to the dark web. This is especially important right now, given the recent AT&T data breach, where over 73 million customer records were released on the dark web. Aura provides the strong passwords, account activity monitoring, credit freeze, or fraud alert considerations that AT&T recommends for those affected. The best part is that Aura does all this for me in one place, so I don't have to go downloading a bunch of different apps because a company couldn't keep my information safe. With Aura always on and working hard to keep me safe, I can have peace of mind knowing that my personal information is protected. Now, y'all know that I value my privacy, but I also value yours. You can go to aura.com/drnina to start your 2-week free trial, and that's also linked below in the description. Not creating an emergency fund can be the death of all of us, whether it's a broke leg, a sick pet, or you catch a fade. A lot of times these emergencies sometimes throw us all the way off. It takes from money that you use for your regular everyday bills. So therefore, you then have to take out these high interest loans or use these credit cards in order to get by, which can set you all the way back. I learned that I was literally one tire away. Way that I started to think about this was if I blew a tire right now, would I be able to pay for it? And when I was younger, that changed my whole perspective. So what I learned when I was younger, in order to keep my credit out of trouble, was to save at least $1,000 towards emergencies and open a separate account for that emergency fund so you're not tempted to spend it. Emergencies are not factored into vacations or surprise shopping sprees. I also set a goal for how much to save in that emergency fund. This is going to vary by person, but something that my mother taught me is that you want to have at least 6 months worth of your living expenses for an emergency. And that doesn't start off, like I said, you start off small and you move upward. You're going to determine how and how much you're going to contribute. If money is tight, you might only do this when you have some extra on hand or occasionally. But if you can part with a little bit of change, go ahead and set up the automatic thing where you can have this pulled out of your account every month, even if it's just a little bit of cash to start. And if you do make a withdrawal from this account, make a plan to replenish it as soon as possible. Living beyond your means and FOMO spending or fear of missing out spending. It used to be easy for me to live beyond my means and swipe that good old credit card and ball out. This helped me to learn to practice to live below my means. To be honest, y'all, I've been driving the same car for years. It's been paid off for about 4 years now, and I'm enjoying it. I get my nails done once a month, and I get my hair done about 4 to 6 times a year. And I keep it that way so that I don't overspend or overindulge, and that I'm able to prepare for emergencies and other things that need my attention. And that fear of missing out spending just because everybody else is doing it does not mean you have to. And I also think in terms of what I can stop in order to still get the things that I need. Sometimes I just cut back because the economy is not so great, and I'm saving a little bit more just because I don't know what is to come. It's important for you to have a money mindset and know exactly where you're heading. You don't have to be super wealthy or rich to do this. It's really just being a good steward of the small amounts that you might have. My mama raised me on $15,000 a year, y'all. You hear that correctly. And I always felt like we was living richly. Do you feel me? But my mother was also very keen on managing money correctly. Whatever little you have, as long as you're investing it well, living below your means and doing the things necessary in order for you to live, and then later on having some treats here and there, usually life is manageable. It's easy to fall victim to not setting financial goals. Set those clear, achievable goals no matter how much or how little you think you have. Whether it's saving for a vacation, paying off a debt, or building a little investment portfolio, write those goals down and visit them often. I started slowly by getting an interest-bearing savings, which build over time. Remember this, the longer you wait to save, the less time your money has to grow. And that led me to maximizing my yields. Traditional savings accounts really don't get you any return on your money. So I started looking at high yield savings accounts, certificates of deposit, and money market. Every little bit counts, even if you can only spare $10 a week. So I have like a little account that I do investments with. Now, this is just one example. I started this account, I want to say at the beginning of the year, just putting in like $10 a week or something like that. That thing has grown exponentially, and it puts in small investments. So it also gives me smaller investments on the money. So I have done the research on myself, and I know that it works. This can also lead you to cutting other costs. And this might even involve getting a side gig or a side hustle so that you're able to throw some cash into some savings accounts and other things, especially if you can't find anything to slash. Something I worked on young, but it can be worked on at any age, is not neglecting your self-investment. Investing in your skills and education can lead to higher earning potential. Take that course, read that book, and never stop learning. Give back to yourself. It's going to help you to feel better, which may help you to do better. And a lot of us think we know a lot about finances, but we're avoiding financial education, which is really killing us. And I can tell you firsthand, ignorance is bliss when it comes to not knowing financial things and not educating yourself. But there's too much free education out here for you to not know about how to handle your finances, at least at the beginner stages. Learn a bit about investing, saving, and budgeting. Those 3 things are key with even getting to a high yield savings account or other things that can make you more money. There's so many free resources out there. Blog posts, podcasts, YouTube channels that can give you so much financial information. And something that I did was I called my bank for free consultations and resources. Honestly, they will love to talk to you about money because they're going to hope that you will reinvest it with them. They have so many free courses, free information. I even went and sat with a banker one time who helped me to start my little high yield savings accounts, as well as some of my investment accounts. It was worth it. It was worth the time. It was worth the energy. And I learned so much about how to make my money make money. Now there you have it, y'all. Those are my 8 money habits that kept me broke and that you can turn around in 2024. This year, I know we only got like 4 months left, but you can do it. And I'd love to hear from y'all. So let me know what money habits you're working on. Drop it in the comments below and let's all be financially free together. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you can learn more about how to live your best life yet. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.